Hello and welcome to Songwriting 101 with me, Cloudy Galvez. Now today it's going to be fairly short and sweet, but you know what we're looking at today, and that is something called chord voicings. These can completely affect your song. They can change the vibe dramatically. So chord voicings, what are they? They're basically just another term for different inversions, right? And an inversion is when you in your chord and rearrange the order that you're playing them in. So for example, with the C major chord, we've got C, E, G, right? Nice. So what happens in our inversion is that we just shift the order. So instead of starting on a C, for this first inversion here, we're going to start on an E. It's all hello, puppy. We're going to start on the E instead. So we're going to go E, G, C. Still a C major chord, all the same notes, they're just in a different order. And then there's another inversion as well, which is G, C, E. So those different shapes can totally influence your melody. One song that does this really well is a Bruce Hornsby track, and that's called The Way It Is. And now in this track, we have this sort of... That's that main sort of pattern that he plays there. And he's basically used his different voicings to create a melody within his chord pattern, right? Like this. Right, so completely unique voicings there in that order to create the melody that flows through it. And my puppy obviously likes this song. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't understand with this particular track as well is that, yes, he's got different inversions that he uses within his chord sequence, and that makes the melody. However, it's very easy to just see the chords written on paper and think, okay, I know exactly which position that's going to be in, right? Especially when it comes to suspensions. Now, suspensions are basically a form of extension. Suspending a chord is where you get rid of the third and you replace it with either a 2 or a 4. So in a C major chord, for example, if we get rid of the third, it means we're getting rid of the E, right? C, E, G, that middle one, E is the third, so we get rid of that, and we replace it with either the 2 or the 4. Now, in this track, the Bruce Hornsby track we're talking about, he replaces that with the 2 on that very last strike. So he's got C, D, G. And when you see that written on a chord chart, and in fact, I see a lot of these videos on YouTube teaching this song, they always use the first inversion or the root position of the suspension, because that's how people know it the most, right? But in this way that he actually plays the song, it's entirely different. What he does is he goes... in his left hand, he plays that G, C, E, that nice final inversion of the C major chord in his left hand. And his right hand comes in to provide the suspension. His right hand's going G, D, G. So together, that's still a C suspended second chord, but it sounds way better than the regular old root position. Right, that sounds quite hollow, quite empty. All I've got is just an octave of C on the bottom there to give it a bit of depth. But my right hand's going C, D, G, like we spoke about a moment ago. That sounds very hollow, very empty in comparison to when you revoice it like he does. There's so much more depth now, and it sounds so much better. So that's my top tip for the day, is look at your voicings, and that applies to not just your bog standard major or minor chords. It applies to your extensions and your suspensions as well. Okay, so we're going to continue this train of thought this week, but I think I'm going to call that a day for today. So thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, if you're new here, you can always catch up on our previous, we've got a little playlist, so you can catch up on everything you've missed in that little section on our channel here. And tomorrow, tune in again, 3:30 p.m. That's my new time. So I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3:30 p.m. And we're talking all things songwriting. So tomorrow we're going to look at how you rearrange the notes in not just a suspension or a major or minor chord, but we're going to take a look at some common extensions that we have as well. So I'm talking your 7th chords, your 9th chords, the fun stuff. So tune back in tomorrow, 3:30, and we will catch you then. You want to say bye to everyone, Bailey? You say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Catch you tomorrow, guys. Bye.